with the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, who is my niece. But Honorable Speaker, today I agree with Honorable Millie Odhiambo, except where she says I purport to know a lot about children's matters. Honorable Speaker, had intervened because unknown to Honorable Millie, I was taught by the Honorable Speaker law. The one area of law you specialized in at the University of Nairobi and you taught me was the subject of children and the law. And Honorable Millie does not know that inspired by the depth of your teaching, I went ahead and did my master's, specializing on, among others, the law relating to protection of the children. And that is what I would discount from Honorable Millie. The idea that she was besmirching not just my knowledge, but also the expertise of the best expert on matters children, who happens to be our speaker now. But we forgive her because she has spoken the language I desire to speak. Honorable Speaker, I had a meeting with our First Lady a short while back. And it was a meeting which went for over 3 hours. I was touched by the passion of the First Lady on matters children. And Honorable Speaker, what I want to confirm to the House is that we have a First Lady who is looking at how we can deal with matters of children and adequately protect them. For the first time, it may have passed the notice of honorable members here, but there is a budget line under what we call Children's of the Nation, which is a new program of the national government to be implemented by the First Lady. And the Children of the Nation program, Honorable Speaker, remember our First Lady was previously focused on women, Joiwa and others. The First Lady is henceforth going to be very focused on matters concerning children. And I was confirming to the House that when you looked at our budget lines very clearly, you saw an item called Children of the Nation program under the office of the First Lady. And that I'm saying this, Honorable Speaker, to confirm that matters concerning children are matters which concern the leadership of our nation, and more so our current mother of the nation. Honorable Speaker, you would also remember the speech of His Excellency the President at Safari Park during the launch of the G7 to G16 caucus. The President requested that we focus on the matter of teenage pregnancies, early marriages, FGM and all those consequences. I'm happy the First Lady picked it up, and of course I want to thank Parliament for budgeting for it so that we can take it seriously. Honorable Speaker, leaving that background aside, let me now speak to the matters you taught me. Honorable Speaker, this bill is very good in substance. And I can tell you I'm very happy we are having clear framework in terms of how we need to establish, these child care centers, both at the county and how they should be supervised. I can tell you in Bomet a short while back, you remember somebody calling himself a philanthropist opened a children care center somewhere in Bomet. And what was happening there was that our children were being sodomized. Our children were being affected. And this is happening in so many institutions around. The minister, under whose docket matters children, fall, has said times without a number, Honorable Speaker, that a time has come when we need to consider whether we will need childcare institutions established by government and abolish these other ones, or what should be done. In fact, she recommended abolition. But Honorable Speaker, beyond the substance, let me say, this bill must be rejected by the National Assembly. Not because it provides or it makes bad provisions, but because it is not rightly placed. It is not rightly placed. Honorable Speaker, before we came with the current Marriage Act, we had a marriage law providing for Hindu marriages. We had a marriage law providing for civil marriages. We had African Tradition and Customary Marriages Act. We had the Muslims were under their Sharia law. And with your advice and teaching, you said, let us collapse all these laws into a single law dealing with marriage, so that even for practicing lawyers and for anybody who want to make references to know what the law in Kenya is about marriage, you pick the Marriage Act, and all those forms and modes of marriages will be provided for there. Honorable Speaker, it is in that light, you remember, in the last parliament, I think it was in the 12th parliament, that we had the original Children's Act, but we had other issues concerning children in various piecemeal laws. And we made a decision, therefore, to collapse all these laws to the current Children's Act. It's a very comprehensive law. I am therefore requesting members of the National Assembly that we don't want to go back to a situation where instead of going into the Children's Act and picking a single statute, and it will be your Bible or Quran on all matters affecting children, which is the ideal position in terms of proper legislation and even legal practice across the world, you want to take us to a situation where we have the Children's Act dealing with all issues concerning the children. You go to the Constitution, Article 53, you read it, you leave it there. You pick a law just on care and protection of child parents. You pick another law on children with disability. You will pick another law on orphaned children. You will pick another law on children in the context of, criminal offenses, the Romeo and Juliet cases. You pick another law on children whose parents are in marriage. You pick another law on children whose children are not in marriage, single parents. We cannot go that way. And that would be the pathway, Honorable Speaker, to confusing the body of law relating to children. I therefore want to speak, and I know the mover is keenly listening. We want to send the mover to go and tell the proponent of the bill in the House of Senate that this is not about the merit of the bill, but we are rejecting this bill so that these good and noble provisions can be picked and an appropriate amendment brought into the Children's Act, and so that consistently we have one comprehensive law which speaks to all matters concerning children. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Millie has spoken to the issue of policy, and it is very important. I am happy she has done so. But I was praying that she's around so that I also tell her that just the same way you are saying we should have policy from government, let us also allow government, when they say we have a government policy on this law you are bringing or you are proposing as a private member, collapse it or wait for us to bring a law which is informed by that government policy. It has happened to a law being pushed by Honorable Millie here. We will now not speak about it because she has gone, where the Attorney General has said, we have a policy on this, and on the basis of that policy, we have drafted a law which the Attorney General has proved, but the laws are still being pursued. I want to say that on account of the need for a single comprehensive law, Honorable Speaker, a Bible on matters concerning children, let us collapse this bill, and we would be urging so, and we would